Good evening. This is CTV News for Friday, November 14th. I'm Byron Scott.
And I'm Patricia Vallone. Glad to have you with us tonight. Well, state, local, and federal officials team up to combat a spike in heroin deaths in Maryland.
CTV's Stephen Gray's just back from Baltimore with the story. Stephen?
That's right. These officials, it was no vacation, but they took an international trip to Colombia to really study the drug and learn how to combat it here in Maryland. And it's estimated that currently the average age of individuals dying from heroin addiction in Maryland is 15. The reason demand for the drug is at an all-time high and prices are at an all-time low. From January to June of this year, a total of 296 people died from the drug in Maryland. Those include 32 people combined in Prince George's and Montgomery counties and a statewide high of 98 in Baltimore City. This has prompted police officials from every Maryland jurisdiction to travel overseas to South America to gather intel from a continent that provides about 8% of heroin to the U.S. Police say taking this trip has taught them how to better combat the problem.
Good afternoon and welcome to the...
A lot of what we're seeing is coming down to economics. Not only just economics here in the United States, but it's economics down in Colombia with those farmers. And I took a very close look at and looked at their status of where they are in life. Until the United States government and the Colombian government can give them another way of making money down there, it's going to be a hard process for the Colombian National Police to get them to step away from producing this drug.
We're not going to walk away from the problem. We're going to deal with it. We're just going to think outside of our traditional boxes in order to do that.
Statewide, 528 people died of drugs or alcohol intoxication in the first 6 months of this year. Authorities say reducing these deaths starts with collaboration between departments and better training from the DEA.
All right, and we have covered this story before in the past, so it's good to see that we're still following it.
Absolutely. It's a very serious problem that they're hoping to fix in Maryland soon.
Right, and this is your last day, I understand.
It is.
Heading down to Texas.
I am, yes. I'm headed to Texas to report there, but it's been great at CTV, and I thank everyone for bringing me on.
And we will dearly miss you. So best of luck to you.
Thank you very much. Okay. Well, this Saturday, the kickoff of the second open enrollment period for health insurance under the Federal Affordable Care Act. Locally, officials say they are confident that this time around things will go smoothly, more smoothly. In 2013, the Maryland Health Connection website crashed with a minute of launching and remained filled with glitches for months. So what's expected for this period, this season? CTV's Nora Tagore has more.
That's right, the Maryland Health Connection website is now live, and you may have already started browsing but not buying just yet. Saturday, Marylanders can attend an enrollment fair at Corcoran Middle School in Glen Burnie and sign up in person. And on Wednesday, November 19th, consumers will be able to purchase plans, making this the first real test of the system since the site's revamping. So back in October of last year, people were complaining about frozen web pages, broken links, poor site design, and other things. But this year, officials tell consumers, rest assured, things will go a lot more smoothly this time around. So we have the website pulled up right now, and you can choose whether you're an individual, a family, or an employer. And if you have any questions, you can click over on one of these boxes. But just for demonstration purposes, I will click on individual. And last year, if you were to click on anything really, the website would now crash and you wouldn't be able to get anything done. But right now you have a demonstration of what process you're going to go through. So you'll put in your information, browse through the plans, apply for the coverage, and then confirm your plans. Right now we can't go through that entire process because this website will not be fully accessible through the entire process until next Wednesday, November 19th. But as you can see, the layout is different. It's a lot more simple. You can just put in the information that you need to put in, what county you live in, what your age is, the coverage year, and your income information. And then that's when you would go to the next process of looking through the plans. So you don't have to put as much information as they required last year. You just put the simple information that you need to. And then you can go through the plans all the way through confirming the healthcare plan that you want to go with. It's a lot more accessible, and if you do have any questions, they have phone numbers listed and a lot more people answering those phones than they did last year, so you can get all the help that you need. For CTV News, I'm Nora Tagore.
And consumers can start browsing plans by logging on to MarylandHealthConnection.gov.
The sound of shuffling papers filled the canvass room at the Prince George's Board of Elections today. The District 3 school board race between incumbent Amber Waller and Denora Hernandez is still extremely close. Hernandez is currently in the lead by more than 90 votes. The second round of absentee ballots were counted this afternoon. After this batch of 2,000 submissions is calculated, the winner will be announced online.
We have counted the absentee ballots and the second count of absentee ballots. And in addition to that, earlier this morning, we wrapped up counting the provisional ballots. In a couple hours, we should have the final results available to post, and they will be posted on our website.
And unlike last week, neither of the candidates was present for the counting today.
Okay, and Governor-elect Larry Hogan reaches out to Senate President Mike Miller. The two broke bread at a Bowie restaurant this week for breakfast. Miller says the two had a good one-on-one conversation. Miller says he's known Hogan for many years and he's confident he'll reach out to the residents of Prince George's. He says the two discussed several issues, including the state's looming budget deficit.
He's got to understand, and he doesn't want to think this right now, but it's a budget shortfall on the whole East Coast. It's largely as a result of the shutdown, the sequester. You know, Pennsylvania's had its bond rating downgraded. New Jersey's had its bond rating degraded. Virginia's got a $2 billion deficit. So we're right in the middle of all that, and we're going to deal with it. There's not going to be any tax increases, but you know, his goal to cut taxes it's going to be reduced quite largely because, you know, you can't reduce the sales tax, you're not going to reduce the income tax, and we got to continue to fund education.
And Hogan met with State House Speaker Michael Bush yesterday. And you are watching CTV News. I'm Byron Scott.
And I'm Patricia Vallone.